Are we live? Is this thing on? It's your boy Disco. I'm joined by my two great friends from the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Football Show. The man, the myth himself, Don P. Patrick Pucci, and the greatest voice in the game, the greatest voice in fantasy football, the greatest voice in football alone, Mr. J. Sieg. What's up, fellas? I love doing the show with you guys. We're here. We're ready. It's week 3. You know, we had a nice little game last night. It wasn't really a game. It was kind of a domination. There's not much to take away from that game, unless you guys have any takeaways from that game.
No, it was kind of boring.
Yep. I would say sell high on Darren Waller now.
Before he's hurt again, huh?
Yeah, sell high on Darren Waller now. We got a couple chats. Eli says, "What's up, boys? What's up, Eli?" Ashton one says, "Let's freaking go." We're not cursing today. Ron, what up, Ron? He says, "What's up, gentlemen?"
What's up,
Ron? JC, you got any takeaways from yesterday, or we good to start the show?
San Fran was. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders. They schematically just pulled the Giants apart.
Yeah, man, complete team, and I'm glad Wan'Dale Robinson didn't do well.
but Waller, right? Okay, like Daniel Jones, like threw high to someone that was 6'6", like on at least 2-3 occasions. So I mean, I don't know how much blame goes to Darren Waller there, but still, they were completely outmatched. Excuse me, and Saquon Barkley doesn't make a difference in this game.
No, I don't think he does either.
Well, here's mine. Like, I know the panic for Darren Waller is there, but he's also had tough matchups with really good coverage linebackers. And we said, Fred Warner's going to be all over him. That linebacker core in general is going to be all over him. And you know what? We were right. We were absolutely right. Steve, I believe that's Uncle Mercy. He says, Ola.
Mercy.
He also says, "Who wants Waller? I'm trading him in all leagues." My man. All right, let's start with the first game on the docket. We got the Denver Broncos visiting the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are favored to win this game by 6.5 points. The over-under is 48 flat. I'll start with you, Pat. In this game, who are your must starts in this game?
Just anybody from the Dolphins, pretty much.
Yeah.
I of course Tyreek Hill. I'm all on that. I mean,
now JC, if Jalen Waddle, because right now Jalen Waddle's questionable, right? If Jalen Waddle should sit, how are you pivoting? Are you pivoting? Are you going to another game, or how are you pivoting in this game? Say you're a Jalen Waddle owner.
Oh, if I'm a Jalen Waddle owner, I'd have to go to another game. I mean, as much as we want to have Braxton Berrios get more opportunity, get more targets, get more receptions, I would probably look to someone that I already have. And Tyreek Hill's the Tyreek Hill production is going to increase, I would think, as would Raheem Mostert is a good play. And perhaps maybe this is the week for your guy at tight end. Perhaps.
Senor Durham Smythe.
Durham Smythe. So again, River Craycraft. So again, I think like Jalen Waddle's production, although hasn't been exceptionally high in 2 games, I think that'll just get spread across Braxton, River, the tight end. Raheem Mostert can also catch the ball out of the backfield as well.
I agree. Huge Mostert game. As long as he's healthy, you're starting.
It'll be a good Mostert game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything y'all say. Melissa Harris says, "Hi y'all." What's up, Melissa? Good to see you. Steve says Mostert going off for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ooh, that's a hot take. Now, in terms of Braxton Berrios, I'd be more inclined to play him in DFS than I would be in your standard fantasy football league. Unless, like, you got to ask yourself, if Braxton Berrios is in the conversation as a flex play in your regular redraft league, you need to probably ask yourself, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like,
what did I do here?
How did we get to this point, right? Quasi, a.k.a. the 2-time. I got my vitamin water, brother. What's up, Quasi? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Aaron Cass says that's my sports in the building. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Okay, now we talked about Miami. Is there anybody that you would want to play on the Denver side in this game?
Yeah. Maybe Judy, maybe.
I like Judy, and I also like his prop on drafters. His pick'em prop, his pick'em prop is 49.5 receiving yards, and I have him projected for 62.6. I think that's a tremendous outlier, and it's borderline a lock. Now, I will say this, right? If you do tail any of these bets, be an adult about it. Just know that like it could lose. So do not come down on me if you do lose. I apologize in advance. Johnny D asks, PPR, now that Myers is healthy, is the right choice to play him as a flex and stack him with Adams, or leave him on the bench and have Mike Williams in the flex? I'm going Mike Williams all day, every day. What about you, fellas?
Mike Williams. But I do like Myers healthy finally.
Oh, give me somebody else, please. Give me Quentin Johnson, please. Give me more Keenan Allen. I don't believe in Mike Williams' durability. I don't believe in Mike Williams' health. That's all.
Fair enough.
That's true.
All right, Ron Karras says, explain DFS, please. Okay, so I'll do a quick explanation of DFS because it can be relatively long-winded. As opposed to you doing a draft, like a snake draft, where there's a snake order daily, DFS stands for Daily Fantasy Sports, as opposed to it being a snake draft where you select your lineup, you're actually given a budget, right? So on Drafters Fantasy, I believe, not Drafters, on Owner's Box DFS, I believe your budget is either 50,000 or 60,000. I got to check in a sec. So what you want to do is you want to get players. So like a Patrick Mahomes would be super expensive, right? Whereas like a Desmond Ridder would be super inexpensive. You want to find a unique balance to get unique players projected to play well within that budget that you have. It's super competitive. It's super fun. Being a good DFS player, like being on top of your DFS, automatically translates to one, your sports books, like being, pristine, top notch. Two, it actually makes you more prepared for fantasy football. You have 9 roster slots, I believe. You got 1 quarterback, 1 super flex, so it can be a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 2 flexes. So that's my brief explanation. I hope you're okay with that.
Pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I tried. Ron Kerr says, is Judy a better play than Godwin? No. I would say what Mike Evans has been doing is not sustainable, and Chris Godwin was about a yard away from scoring a touchdown last week. Should he have scored that touchdown last week, we'd be singing a completely different tune. So, no.
Plus, it's the Eagles' defense.
Yeah, but their secondary is super suspect. I like Kate Otten. I like Kate Otten a lot this week.
And they're going to be down. They're going to be down. So
yeah, exactly. Steve Quasi says no guarantees in life, just edges. Amen. Fantasy football addict. What up, brother? He says Mike Williams all day. My man, Jeremy Thiel in the house. I love this human being. One of my favorite human beings on the planet. I swear. Great. He says 50K budget. Exactly. So if you sign up today on Owner's Box DFS using promo code DISCO, I will match your initial deposit dollar for dollar up to $500. It's pretty freaking sweet, pretty gnarly. All right. So Denver, you guys don't like Javonte. You guys don't like P. Ryan here. No Sutton, no Troutman, not even Russell Wilson. Marvin Mims was spectacular last week. Nobody there.
No, Marvin Mims has been hitting home runs. It's just a matter of the volume there.
Not enough volume.
P. Ryan's usage is, been sneaky high, especially if you're going to compare him to Javonte Williams. So P. Ryan's not a terrible option either. But you'd have to have like a deep roster to like have to play P. Ryan at this point.
For sure. I think the running game would make Denver competitive in this game, but it would have also made them competitive last week against Washington when they went away from the run. Right. They went first down, a yard. Okay, try it again. But no, they went and they aired it out, and they allowed Washington to catch up, and inevitably they lost. All right, let's go to the next game. My New England Patriots. Shout out to Pats Nation and everybody in Pats Nation.
Oh my God!
They're actually 2.5 favorite coming into the Jets of New York. The over-under is 36.
Ooh,
Let's talk
low
about this
scoring
game. It's ugly. If you like defense and special teams, and your league's got defense and special teams, both plays are absolutely spectacular. But if there's one guy you got to play in this game, Sieg, who is it?
One guy at both teams,
Yeah, one guy in both teams. You got to play.
biased or unbiased.
Doesn't matter. Just from the heart.
My heart's telling me Garrett Wilson, but that's a terrible play. Probably Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry for the Patriots would be the best play, I'd think. I'd also say maybe Brees Hall. Again, they're gonna have to establish the run, but this is just this is gonna be a really low scoring affair. Garrett Wilson's not a good play. Brees Hall depends on his usage. Ramondre Stevens is a pretty good play, but I'd expect the Jets to clamp down on him as well. Hunter Henry's probably the best play for me here.
Right.
Well, I like that you said that because the Jets against the tight end position are ranked 27th out of 32. So pretty bad. That's probably the best matchup on the slate. The second best matchup would be the running back position for the New York Jets going against the Patriots. The Patriots have the 21st worst run defense. So I'm firing up Brees Hall here. I really, really like Brees Hall here.
That's who I'm going with. That's the only one I want.
Yeah.
This game's too low scoring. 36 at the lowest of the week?
Yeah, it could be. It should be.
It
might be. You might be right. I'm not touching either quarterbacks in DFS. I'm not touching them in super flex. I'm not touching them anywhere. None of that stuff.
Would you really want anybody in a low scoring game like this at all in DFS? I mean, not really, right? If you can avoid it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about starting Garrett Wilson if this is your regular redraft?
I got started.
I have a lot of Garrett Wilson. I'm starting him everywhere. That's your guy. You start him, right?
Yeah, you have to. You have
He's
to.
not getting benched. He's not benched.
Absolutely. I will say I think Alan Lazard would be the safest DFS play here, simply because he's cheap and it's always the wide receiver 2 that eats against the Patriots on the small sample size that we have. Eli says, "What's up, man? I'm one of the Football Chalk guys here on a personal account." Football Chalk, shout out to Football Chalk, our great and phenomenal sponsors. All these guys want to do is talk football and give away free stuff to talk football. All you got to do, what's the giveaway this time? Is it Asante Samuel? So right now, there's an Asante Samuel Jr. jersey giveaway happening. We've already given away 2 jerseys. This is the 3rd one, okay? There's an Asante Samuel jersey giveaway. All you got to do is go on Twitter, give Football Chalk a follow, go on their website. It takes 2 seconds to create an account there. All you got to do is provide an email address, and then bada bing, bada boom, you got to rate Asante Samuel, and you're good to go. Shout out to Football Chalk. We love those beautiful.
We love Football Chalk. Love them.
Jeremy says, "Will Brees Hall shred Pat's D?" I want to say Brees Hall is like a must play this week in terms of this matchup. If you have Brees Hall, this is a good matchup for him. It's a good opportunity. Fantasy Football Addict says, "Do they feed Brees Hall after how pissed he was last week?" I mean, I don't think that's really going to have much of a like it's not going to have much weight on the situation. What do you two think? I see you nodding your head, Pat. You think they're going to feed Brees Hall?
I think they're feeding him all day. It's a low-scoring game. They're just going to keep feeding him. They don't want to throw against the Patriots. They're just going to run.
I don't think him being pissed is going to have any weight to his playing time or usage. They have a very strict plan with him that they're going to adhere to. They're not going to just, oh my God, Brees Hall is upset that he's not getting the ball. How about we're trying to preserve your body right now? So I don't think that's going to lend that won't lend to anything in terms of his playing time.
Fair. All right, I think we're ready to go to the next game. We got the Houston Texans, who are 8.5-point dogs, coming into Jacksonville, facing the Jaguars. The over/under is 44.0. I'll start with you, Patrick. On the Texan side, how do we feel about Dameon Pierce? Are we done? Are we giving up Are we throwing?
No, not even close. It's only week 2. I'm still on Damian Pierce. Still like him.
I hear you loud and clear. I mean that dude. I feel bad for him. I do because like in the backfield right now, he's getting the handoff, but there's a linebacker and a defensive tackle in his lap because he's missing like three offensive linemen right now, which is pretty significant, and we're seeing it there.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that is
absolutely. So, is there anybody on Houston you're firing up against the Jags?
No, I'd rather have everybody on the Jags. I
think Nico Collins may get the start.
Maybe Tank Dell.
Or Tank Dell, possibly Tank Dell. I think Nico Collins gets a start, depending on how your roster looks, depending on, again, how deep your team is. I think Nico Collins is a must start at this point.
That's right. He's about the only must start on the team, yeah.
I mean, if we believe that the Texans are going to be down in this game, which, everything is suggesting that they will be, then I think the volume will be there for Nico Collins.
Ooh, Ron says Tank Dell.
It's very possible too. Tank Dell is very possible.
I just picked him up in free agency.
That's nice. I'd want him on the team for sure. It's just I'm not sure if I have to start Tank Dell yet. If this was a bye week and you're in a bye situation, then Tank Dell would be a good play.
I agree.
Yeah, so I will say there's a couple of guys in the chat here so far. Stephen Hewlick and that's Uncle Mercy, right?
Yeah, it's Uncle Mercy.
Uncle Mercy and Fantasy Football Addict. They're all over Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne has a phenomenal matchup. He's going against the 25th worst run defense. I actually have Etienne projected, and this is just a floor projection based off of PPR. So he could possibly go more, but I have him projected for 15.7 fantasy points, and he's my RB9 on the week. Just in DFS, it's going to be tough to get to him because he's priced at $6,700, which is like way over.
Yeah, way over. But he's going over everything now.
Yeah, I agree.
They're down. They're going to be up and just running the ball.
I like this comment here. Jeremy Thiel says, "I hate seeing it, but Stroud is a sneaky pick. Quarterbacks have been eating against this Jags defense. They are actually the 23rd worst defense in terms of giving up fantasy points against the quarterback position. And at 6,000 in DFS on Owner's Box, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good to get a quarterback at that price. I'm not going to lie. I like that, Jeremy. I like that a lot. Nico Collins from Radimus. My dog hasn't barked yet.
What's up, Radimus?
Good to see you. All right. So Jags. Who are we taking here? Who we like? Who we're starting? And who are we sitting?
So Zay Jones is not playing, correct?
He could potentially be out. I don't know. I'm not confirmed.
Okay, it may not be confirmed. Let's say he doesn't play. This is going to give more volume over to Christian Kirk. Maybe we finally see an Evan Ingram game. So I like those two. And Calvin Ridley, of course, is definitely a solid option one at this time.
Whatever the props are on Calvin Ridley right now, I'm smashing it over.
Yeah.
Right now on Drafters, it's 69.5 receiving yards. I'm smashing the over all day on that. I got him projected for 75 at his floor. So, yeah, I'm definitely smashing the over there. Jeremy Thiel just said Stroud is $5,700. I have to confirm this right now. I'm pulling up.
Wow, that's not bad at all, price. Huh?
No,
for a quarterback?
Oh, that's perfect.
That's the kind of play you want right there. That's a great call, Jeremy.
6,000, Jeremy. 6,000. I got it right here.
Close enough. Actually, no. $300 difference.
It you know what? You start pinching pennies.
You do. I get that, and I don't. I don't really play DFS, but I understand it.
Yeah. Fantasy Football Addict says Zay out. Thank you for the confirmation.
Thanks, Fantasy.
So would you go with a $5,400 Christian Kirk then? Would you like Christian Kirk?
I think
not okay. So I won't lead with DFS questions. In your redraft league, are you putting him in as your wide receiver 2 or your flex?
I think he already is. Yeah. Well, he was already drafted.
He's definitely a flex.
He was already drafted as such. Low end wide receiver 2 or your flex wide receiver. I mean, you're not pulling him now if he's if the dude that was eating into his production is now out.
Yeah,
They can both have 100 yards though.
very good statement. That might be a nice little parlay play. All right, let's go to the next game. We got the Atlanta Falcons coming into Ford Field. The Falcons are actually 3-point underdogs. The over-under is 46 on average at Ford Field, or it's 54 points per game that's scored there. I feel like the over-under is a trap. So let's talk about this game, JC. Let's talk about the running back position. Who are you giving the edge to?
Right now, you have to give it to Atlanta. They're the ones. they're so run centric. They have like almost the best running back in the league right now in Bijan Robinson, and they've got an excellent complement in Tyler Algier. Detroit's missing their 1-2 punch. Although we could get a solid performance from Reynolds, which is a dark sleeper.
Which one, Craig?
Yes, Craig. I like that a lot.
Okay.
Again, if you're in a really, really deep league, that is a very dark sleeper play. But
great touchdown opportunity, right?
I mean, he is the guy who's taken over that Montgomery role, so I like that call a lot. I do really like that call.
And is this the week that we're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs, have like the opportunities that everyone's begging for, based from that first week, that opening night, Thursday night kickoff game, where like he looked fantastic, but then it was like a regression. I mean, like, okay, so again, we have a small sampling size. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a star, at least based on just everything that we see with our own eyes. But it's just really up to like Dan Campbell and the coaching staff whether they want to like really give it to him or not. So is this the week? Atlanta? I mean, Atlanta's defense could be troublesome, but I would expect them to have to rely on the running game, or at least a variation of the running game. Like,
I love both.
Yeah,
a lot. Both guys are scoring. Bijan's probably getting 2. I say 2 touchdowns for Bijan. Easy in this one. The Lions aren't throwing a lot. What's his name's hurt? He's got the turf toe out there. They're going to milk him.
Which is a problem.
They're going to milk him. Now Laporta, here we go.
It's the Laporta game. This is a Laporta game.
Great Laporta game.
For all the Laporta supporters.
Which is us.
Oh no, it's not just us. It's Disco Ball Nation. It's all the guys who
no, that's us.
That's part of it.
In our best ball drafts, all the Laporta supporters, we're going to eat, and it's going to be beautiful. And he's priced at a pretty penny here on in terms of DFS, $4,300. I got him projected as my tight end number 8. I like it a lot.
I'm playing him a lot.
So I'm going to tell you how I think this game is going to break down. As of now, the Detroit Lions run defense is actually vastly improved. And I don't think it's going to come down to, Bijan, and Tyler Algier running all over them. I think Algier, if you have him in your flex spot or in your redraft league, don't play him. DFS, don't play him. The Lions, other than the 2 rushing touchdowns, are allowing 2.6 rushing yards per carry. It's one of the bottom in the league. They're very stout at stopping the run. Yeah. So I think they're going to need to rely on Desmond Ridder, and I hate to say it. It tastes awful saying it, but he's actually priced at $5,700. If you go Desmond Ridder as your starting quarterback, CJ Stroud, and just build around that, you are going to have a stacked, phenomenal lineup. Craig Reynolds, I think, is one of my favorite plays in DFS this week. Bijan's going to be Bijan. He's going to eat. I got him projected as my running back 3. I got him projected for 18.4 fantasy points in terms of PPR. So, yeah.
How many catches you got him for?
Bijan, I got him for 3.8 receptions. So, round it up to around 4.
What's the over on that? I love the over on that.
So right now, his 2 props on drafters are 97.5 rushing and receiving yards and 69.5 rushing yards. I have him projected for 75.4 rushing yards and 30.6 receiving yards. So that's 100 and...
It's a good game.
Yeah, that receiving yards will be over in the first quarter.
Still a good game.
It should be a real good game.
For sure. I would love to get some shares of Josh Reynolds, who's priced at $4,400, and Mac Hollins. I like both of them in DFS.
Yeah.
These are two guys I like a lot. All right, we got some questions in here. Stephen Helix says, "Are we still high on Algier?" I've never been high on Algier. I love him as a handcuff opportunity in best ball in terms of
I think
pre-draft. Go ahead.
I think he still has standalone value. Maybe not this week.
Yeah, not
but for the long term, I think they're not going to just run Bijan completely into the ground this early. I think that they still want to pace it out.
But wouldn't you say that like handicaps his floor? It's tough to project his floor, and because it's tough to project his floor, that's why he's a sell high candidate for me. I'd rather have a guy with a floor that I can call on a regular basis. This guy's getting an X amount of volume. This is what he's averaging on a week-to-week basis. And you know what? Volume is like a coach saying, okay, this kid's got potential. I hate the word volume. It's like we got to start talking about talent. You don't draft Bijan Robinson there. And
I get it.
Like, so that's why I'm out on Algier. Best ball, love Algier. One of my favorite running backs to get. I
would want to see how they utilize both of them again this week against Detroit. But I would want a little bit more of a sampling size because it could very well just go back to the week 1 situation as well.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta runs all the most, right?
That's all they want to do.
That's all they got. Yeah, they don't care about it.
They don't make any bones about it.
I'm telling you right now, once we get my man Cordero Patterson back, we are going to see this entire offense unleashed. He is the glue that bridges the run game and the pass game. And you guys laugh now, but
that is exactly what they'll do, though. I'm laughing because it's going to be exactly what they do.
It's going to be exactly. He is the glue that will complete this offense, because right now the run game, as spectacular as it has been, it's been based off of chunk plays, volume, right? Their pass game has not been spectacular. You need that glue in the middle. Everybody thought it would be Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has been a major bust. He has been a major bust. He's a ceiling play with zero floor. The dude has no floor, and it sucks.
Well, his rookie year was great, but that was it.
Yeah, but he had what? Matt Ryan.
Yeah,
that doesn't make a difference. So I'm very excited to see Cordell Patterson once again. He's still questionable. Ron Karras says Gibbs is going to get a lot of targets. I hope so. I generally hope so.
I agree. I love doing that.
Fantasy Football Addict says I have Pitts and Laporta roster. Starting Laporta, good call.
I love that. Love starting.
Good call. So right now I got Laporta projected as tight end number 8 and Kyle Pitts projected as tight end number 9. And only thing that's separating them is 0.5 fantasy points. Uncle Mercy says Laporta over Najee flex. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. Not against that. No, absolutely not.
And Melissa wants to know, so bench Algeria in IDP. The answer there is no for 2 reasons. Okay. One being it's a 16. That's 1-6. 16 team league.
Ooh.
All right. So like it's so thin altogether. It's very
That's
thin.
good back to still having a 16 team league then, yeah.
B, the roster has injuries. Yeah. So there's really not too much else that could be done other than to start Algeria at this time.
I'd be curious, like, I know it's an IDP league, but I'd be curious in terms of, like, is it a standard half PPR league? And
yeah, it's a PPR.
Is that it's PPR or half PPR?
Yeah.
I'd be curious what other plays she has on her team. Fantasy Football Nonsense says, what's up, brother? He says, you guys, if I listen so I can make some extra money this weekend? Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Charlie Puth, we don't talk anymore. Weirdo. Miss you, have to go. All right, man. I know you're out on business, so I love you for tuning in and checking in with us.
He's always somewhere, isn't he? Showing pictures of where he's staying.
He's doing work. My only choices are Jamal Williams, or is that Jamal or Javante?
Jamal.
Okay, yeah. Play Algier all day. Eli says, I saw a trade offer the other day that was McCaffrey and Atwell for Bijan, Sutton, and Hollywood. What do you think?
I saw a trade the other day from
there's not enough. There's not enough there to trade McCaffrey.
No, even though, I mean, I love Bijan, but he's not McCaffrey.
No, they're like Sutton and Hollywood. They're both names that like are major avoids for me.
Yeah, they're
So
almost a walk.
essentially, I'm looking at it as like, okay, so it's Bijan and CMC, and it's like Christian McCaffrey is breaking fantasy football once again. We know he's the highest ceiling play. All right, let's go to the next game.
Let's go.
New Orleans Saints are actually underdogs coming into Green Bay. The over-under is 42.5. How do you guys feel about this game? Who do you like? Who don't you like? Where are you guys going? Is there any player on either team that you have a lot of exposure to? Is there anybody in your personal like redraft leagues that you guys are looking forward to seeing this week?
This is the Packs. It's the Packs' first home game, isn't it?
Oh, that's a good point. Then, if it's their first home game, that's big.
I could see their defense stepping up. We don't know which wide receiver we're going to get, other than Christian Watson not playing probably again. So I don't know if it's going to be Jaden.
He was practicing.
Yeah, I think he's playing. I think he's playing.
Is he playing?
He practiced on Friday. He's in.
Look, if Christian Watson is a go, I mean, again, I would probably start him if he's on my team. I'm not sure about Jaden Reed. I'm not sure about Romeo Doubs. Luke Musgrave's not a terrible play.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones has been practicing limited. I'll tell you the one dude that I wouldn't play, and I have him on a team, and that's AJ Dillon.
Yes, I agree.
The Saints.
Disappointing too.
How do we feel about Kendrick Miller making his first start as a professional?
I'll answer that question in a second.
Answer that.
Fantasy Football Addict Michael Thomas's price on Owner's Box DFS is $5,200, so he's under the field, which is a great value.
I like that.
Yeah. So Kendrick Miller, I like the opportunity. I like the player. I like his production when he was over at TCU. He's one of my highest owned like late picks in best ball tournaments on Drafters Fantasy Sports. I love Kendrick Miller. I just don't like this run D. I anticipate because everybody's scared of Jair Alexander, and here's the thing with the Green Bay defense: they run more zone than anybody else.
Yeah.
They run a lot of zone. 83% of their plays, they're in zone coverage. So we don't really get to see Jair Alexander purely being Jair Alexander. He's backed up in a zone, and they're going to get picked apart. So what I think the games are going to come down to is both run games are going to be canceled out because you can't run on New Orleans. You can't really run on Green Bay.
True.
I think what it's going to come down to is the passing game, and New Orleans is a no-fly zone. You cannot fly on New Orleans. Tight ends don't eat there. Receivers don't eat there. So who's going to eat? It's got to be Olave. And I love Chris Olave this week. His drafters prop right now in terms of receiving yards is 62.5 receiving yards. And if you're watching this back, just make sure you use promo code DISCODRAFTS1 on drafters and tail all the locks that I'm giving you right now. His prop is 62.5 receiving yards. I got him projected for 80.1. I think we're going to see Derek Carr throw the ball a lot. Is he going to be successful so I can project a winner? Absolutely not. I think he's going to turn the ball over, but he's also going to have a lot of volume. Jair is out, according to Melissa. That's news. Yeah.
Why would Olave's prop be so low?
I have no idea. But that's why I found.
Right.
That's why I do this research. That's why.
That's why we'll be talking about this again on Monday.
And that's with Alexander out.
Exactly. That's why I do the research. That's why I put out the
maybe they haven't updated it yet with the injury of Alexander.
Because like before Brandon Ayuk went out last night. Okay, let me just before Brandon Ayuk went out last night, Debo's
for some context
prop was at 55.5. We knew Ayuk was questionable, so we said we're going to smash this. We're going to 100% smash this because Ayuk is probably going to be out. It's a short turnaround. Ayuk's going to be out. What happens? They say Ayuk's out. Debo's prop goes up to 75. He still smashed it. He still absolutely smashed it, but it's a higher risk, right? We were chilling in the first half. We cashed out in the first half. We were good. Here's what I like about Fantasy Football Addict. Taysom Hill is a sneaky play for DFS. He leads rushes last week. So that's what I was going to get to in terms of
I love that.
I like Kendrick Miller, don't get me wrong, but Tony Jones Jr. is not a reliable individual. So cue up Taysom Hill game. Taysom Hill in terms of DFS is the guy I want. In terms of redraft, it's hard to say that I want to play Taysom Hill unless you want like that spectacular spike week that he can put up on any
Spike
given
week
day.
there. I can see the spike week there.
But like I can easily see 30 plus fantasy points from Taysom Hill this week. I love where your head's at, Mr. Football Addict. Absolutely brilliant. Great call there.
Especially with
Absolutely.
Miller coming back first game. They're not going to feed him all the rock. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, that's why I wanted to get the consensus. I mean, like, yeah, it's his first game, and he's a rookie. I don't expect him to smash.
Right.
Tony Jr. may not be that terrible play, but then again, I mean,
I think he's terrible.
yeah,
I've had my share of some of them.
I see this being a very low scoring affair. I see this being a throwing, more or less throwing situation for both sides.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Derek Carr and his receivers over the Packers and their receivers.
I would take
based on
what's the line? Is
receivers,
this a
better
pick 'em?
receivers, I agree.
Is this game a pick 'em +1? I take the home team.
I honestly, if I were to pick a team here, I think I would go with New Orleans straight up. I would take New Orleans money line straight up.
I would too, just because of the receivers. But
let's go to the next game. I like the pace we're doing. We got another chat.
Kamara.
Uncle Mercy says Kamara, no matter what next week. Depends. Who's the matchup? I haven't looked into next week. I've been so locked in this week.
Me
Who's
too.
the matchup
I do love
against next
Kamara.
week?
Well,
All right, we got the Buffalo Bills coming into Washington. The Bills are 6-point favorites. The over-under is 43.0. I feel like this game's a trap. I don't know why, but I feel like this game's a trap. I don't like it.
It is a trap.
How do you guys feel? I love
Buffalo all the way.
You're going Buffalo all the way, money line?
Not even going to be close. Not even
Okay,
close.
so since you're so high on Buffalo, okay, I need you to tell me who is your must start in Buffalo, and do not say Josh Allen. Anybody but Josh Allen.
Cooks.
James Cook.
I like James Cook.
All right, I like James Cook a lot too. I'm worried. I'm worried about that run defense. I'm worried about both running backs because both run defense.
If they're going to have such
really
a lead, they're going to be able to run all day. They're going to be up 10 points all from first quarter on.
I will say I like James Cook too, but I don't like him as a runner. I like him as a receiver in this game. I like him a lot as a receiver. So if you're in a PPR league, I think James Cook is an absolute smash. B-Rob the Mob, Brian Robinson, his prop right now is at 57.5 rushing yards. I got him projected for 70.3 rushing yards. So drafters, fantasy sports, disco drafts one. I'll match your initial deposit dollar for dollar. Your first bet's on the boy. That's another one. That's another one that I like. Another one. You smart. You loyal. All right. So New Orleans next week plays Tampa Bay. Yeah, no, not going with Kamara next week.
Yeah, I agree.
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, if you waited this long, the 3-game suspension.
You almost have to play.
And no, I was going to say the opposite. If your record is okay, right? As long as you're not 0-3, right? I think you could hold him out and see how he does.
Running back options.
So it's not automatic that you start him. It depends on your record.
Eli says Buffalo also gives up on their backs. Like week 5, I don't think James Cook is one of those talents that you give up on. I generally don't think he's one of those talents you give up on. I think the only James Cook is not the red zone guy. Sure, he got some red zone utilization, but it was mainly Latavius Murray in the red zone and Damian Harris. I will say what was encouraging last week in comparison to week 1 is we saw James Cook take 78% of the snaps in the 2-minute drill, whereas Latavius Murray took all of that before, right? So that's encouraging. Right. That's a huge upside. Uh-oh. Where'd JC go? Uh-oh. He'll be back. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
He definitely
yeah. Ron Kerr says, is Howell a better play than Love in a 2 QB league? Cousins is my other quarterback. I would say so, yes.
Yeah, probably.
Uncle Mercy says Logan Thomas. I believe Logan Thomas is out, so it would be John Bates. I believe that's his name. And I don't like any of the tight ends in this game. Both defenses are very good against the tight end position. You're looking at touchdown upside only, and touchdown upside. It's not a good call because it's very hit or miss, right?
Yeah. Buffalo's defense should be good in this one, though. I mean, you would think, maybe not.
Yeah, I would say Buffalo's defense is solid. They can take the ball away, but they don't have an identity yet, and I'd be curious to see what the identity is. This could be a Dotson game. This could be a McLaurin game. It could be either one of them. But I'm so discouraged with what I saw from Jahan Dotson the first 2 weeks that I want nothing to do with him.
I
There's
agree with that.
JC. Welcome back, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
Has some technical difficulties.
Uncle Mercy says
Wow.
Thomas is out. As far as I know, yeah, I believe Thomas is out. He got a really bad hit last week, Eddie Jackson, but he still held on to the touchdown. All the power to him for holding on to that touchdown. But he took a lick to the chop, and he held on. He was knocked out for sure. So yeah, he's definitely out. Aaron Cass says that's my sports in the building. What do you guys think going forward, Gainwell or Swift? I personally would go Swift, but I would say I'm not playing either one of them depending on the matchup. This matchup coming up this Monday against Tampa Bay is one of those games where I'm not playing either one of them. I'm looking elsewhere.
Wait, are we on
I like
Philly?
Swift.
We're on Philly, right?
No, we're not. We're not even close. That's Monday. We got ways to go. We're still at 1:00. Buffalo Bills against Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Before.
We just answering a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Buffalo
You're good.
Bills -6 Washington Commanders. Is there any plays that you like in this game, JC, before we move to the next one? This next one I know you guys like a lot and I like a lot.
Plays in this game. Well, I like Brian Robinson to go over that number. I'm a Cook fan. I definitely am based on the dual threat. Maybe the tight end, maybe one of them, but right, that's the problem. Which one? So I think Cook is a good play here. Cook and Brian Robinson, the two running backs.
I would say redraft and DFS, Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, absolute smashes
Yeah,
in this game.
definitely.
DFS in particular, I love Gabe Davis. I love Gabe Davis.
I don't know why does everybody love Gabe Davis?
Because
Because
he'll
of
have
his
he'll have
ceiling.
1 week. He'll use
Ceiling.
him for a week.
His
Ugh.
ceiling. And like I think he's getting more and more involved, and Josh Allen and him are like they have. I love Gabe Davis this week. I love him in all formats. He's a great wide receiver 2 or flex play in redraft, and he's one of my favorite plays this week in terms of DFS. All right, let's go to the next game. We got the Los Angeles Chargers, who are actually 1.5 point dogs coming into Minnesota. The over under is 54. Dare I say I kind of like the under here? Is it weird that I like the under here? It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be an absolute shootout. It's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be absolutely crazy.
I like the over.
You like the over?
Yeah,
Which team is going to get their first win? JC.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Why?
Besides the fact that Staley's probably playing for his job, so they're gonna have to rally around that. They're gonna have to play some freaking defense. They're gonna have to put a stop on.
agreed.
I think that they're gonna have to design it better for Kelly. I think they're gonna have to. They're just gonna have to, do what they're doing, but play defense now. And I know that's not an easy task going against this Vikings team, which again is on pace for record-setting offensive production as a team, right?
Right.
If they don't, okay, if they do not stop the Vikings to an extent, right, then the Chargers are going to go 0-3. They're going to lose the game,
Completely agree.
and this dude may not make it back to California.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the way I think. I mean, again, like this game could very well be 42-38,
Exactly.
48-45, and if they lose, there's a serious problem with the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
It's
One of
like,
these coaches is on their way out if they lose, probably, right? They're getting pretty close.
oh,
I don't think the Minnesota Vikings
I think.
head coach. I don't think he's on the hot seat. I definitely think the Chargers head coach
Well,
needs to watch over his shoulder. We do have a question. Eli says, I've got a 16-team dynasty league with full defense that I only have one quarterback in. It's Cousins. Should I try to go out and get another one, or should I ride with Kirk?
Ride Kurt all year. You're good.
I agree. JC, what do you think?
in terms of keeping Kirk Cousins,
Yeah, like does he ride with him, or does he try to stream one?
No, you could ride with Kirk Cousins the way he's been playing, the way this offense has been humming.
Especially with defense being terrible still.
Is Jordan Addison like a top 10 wide receiver right now? And that's
he's up there. He's up there. It's crazy. It's crazy. The first 2 weeks is absolutely bonkers. So I want to play a game with you guys here. All right. This is the game that I want to play this game with you guys, and I want both of you to take turns. So we'll go Pat, J. Sieg, and we're going to go position by position. All right. In terms of the matchup, who would you rather have this week? Justin Herbert or Kirk Cousins? Patrick, go.
I got Herbert.
J. Sieg?
I would go Herbert. Even on the road, I would go Herbert.
Me too. Yep.
I would typically go Herbert in every facet, but I'm going to ride with Cousins simply because both defenses are horrible, but the Chargers have been extra horrible, and I anticipate, Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, not the running backs, but I anticipate all of them going to ball out. Speaking of running backs, okay? So I'm Kirk. You two are Justin Herbert. All right, let's go running backs. You got Joshua Kelly versus Alexander Madison and Cam Akers. Who
Give
are
me
you
Kelly.
riding with?
Give me Kelly.
You want Kelly? All right. What about you, JC?
Yeah, give me Kelly. I don't think Cam Akers is going to play much in this game, if at all. Kelly over Madison, which is kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Like Madison's like running his way out of the league.
He might play pissed off a little though. Now
then again, with the running back landscape that it is, Madison's not running himself out of the league, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I think Kelly. I think the Chargers' offensive scheme would lend more favorably to Kelly. They should really attempt to get Spiller involved so that Kelly could maybe play more of like that secondary or like not that feature role.
I hear you. I'm not out on Madison this week. I think Madison this week is a good flex play, but like I hate to agree with you guys, but I'm gonna agree with you guys. Joshua Kelly all the way. Let's talk. We got some chats here. Aaron Cass says Skull, Herbert, and Co. Just can't win with what they have. I mean, I don't think what they have on paper is the issue. I generally think it's just like it's rough. Jeremy Thiel says Jefferson is breaking fantasy this weekend.
I agree.
It's possible.
If he gets possible. End zone any of his weeks, he's breaking fantasy football 100%.
Do you guys know? Do you guys know that? What do I hear? The Chargers secondary, I think they've spent like an insane amount of money on this secondary for like their team allocation, and it's not cutting it. It's just not cutting it.
Asante Samuel, who's on a first-round contract, so that's expensive. J.C. Jackson, who is, a Patriots. Bye. Go be a bust anywhere else. It was a scheme, dickhead. And then they got Derwin James. So yeah, Derwin James. All right. That's a good take, JC. I like it. All right, let's talk about wide receiver one. This one's a no-brainer. I know what you guys are going to say, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Justin Jefferson or Keenan Allen?
I'm going Keenan.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh. Why? Explain yourself, sir. That is
Minnesota's defense is that bad. And Chargers are pissed. They're gonna throw all over them. It's not even
so. I mean,
15 catches probably incoming here. 15 easy.
I'd love for it to be Keenan Allen also, but if
less competition, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna have Addison getting the ball too. They're splitting it.
It's true. It's an interesting take for sure in terms of picking one over the other. Like Justin Jefferson have like another 180-yard game and not score, but to Keenan Allen's, let's say 80 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? It's almost like it's almost a wash, almost.
I would say the only way I would want Keenan Allen personally is in DFS because he's priced at $6,800 and Justin Jefferson's priced at $7,900. Like, who are you going to take? $3,500 Demario Douglas and $3,700 Chase Claypool? Like how can you make it work? How can you make $7,900 work? Make it make sense, but it also makes sense, and that's why like obviously I'm riding with Justin Jefferson, but I do love what you guys are saying. Adrian Fidesz, my dog, he says I don't think that's as a no brainer as you'd say. Chargers are going to have to throw a lot. I like that take. They're both going to have to throw a lot. They're both going to have to throw a lot. I think the only reason why I like JJ more is because the Chargers are going to be able to run the ball and find success in running the ball, which is going to take opportunity away from Keenan Allen. All right, let's talk wide receiver twos here. Okay, you got Mike Williams and Quentin Johnston.
And Quentin Johnston. I like that. I like that.
KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison. We got the rookie first-round receiver battle with Jordan Addison against Quentin Johnston. Let's hype this up. It deserves all the hype. Which two wide receiver twos are you riding with? And then tell me which one you think is going to do better in terms of the two that I mentioned. Patrick, go for it.
I don't know. I like Quentin this week. I think that's a nice little sleeper pick. You know,
I like it too.
Somebody's just cut him in my league. I'm thinking of adding him. I mean,
I think he's due.
Yeah.
Come on.
So you both
didn't take him in round one. Did not throw enough to him. You know, he's getting the volume's going to come.
Yeah.
Didn't take him that early. Just say, oh well, maybe we ain't a bad pick here. No.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I agree. And Uncle Mercy said it, KJ sneaky DFS pick. Like the ball is going to be like every DFS lineup you make, you have to have at least one of each receiver on your lineups.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you were like me and you're maxing it out, that's what you got to do. And you got to find balance, right?
This isn't a prime time game.
I'm sorry?
What were you going to say there?
Game, is it?
Is this a primetime game? I don't think it's a primetime game.
No, this is still a 1 p.m.er.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ron brings up an excellent point. So we're lumping Mike Williams and Quentin Johnson, but it's really like three Chargers into the number 2 spot, right?
You're right.
Yes.
Because Palmer could easily just like smash for like 3 catches, X amount of yards and a score.
Easy. He could outproduce Williams.
So I'm going to take the trio of Chargers over the duo of KJ and Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison, I just for some reason can't see him scoring 3 weeks in a row. And KJ Osborne is, as far as I'm concerned, is still a hit or miss. It's still a hit or miss for KJ Osborne.
He's getting targets. He's getting opportunities. He's just dropping it in like not completing his route. I like what Adrian Fidesz says here. He said they only throw to Quentin when another receiver is hurt. Addison is always on the field.
That's a great point.
It's a very valid point. I will take that into consideration.
When another receiver is hurt, that other receiver that was hurt was Mike Williams.
How we know that was
my dog. Mike Williams is the ultimate ceiling play. He's the ultimate ceiling play.
That was Mike Williams.
Yeah, he's a jump
Addison
ball.
is scoring though. I do like Addison he'll score again.
All right. Final question. Gerald Everett or TJ Hawkinson? Who are we riding with?
Really? That's a question?
No, but I figured I'd just ask it anyways. Okay. Hawkinson across the board?
Easy.
JC? Okay, cool. Next game? You guys good with next game, or is there anything else you guys want to add about this game?
That was a great one. Yeah, it was a great one.
All right. Indianapolis Colts are 8-point dogs. And coming in to Baltimore without Anthony Richardson, the over-under is 44.0. Who are we playing in DFS? Who are we playing in redraft? Is there any, like, I think the way I want to word this, and I'm not asking this question correctly, so I apologize. Bear with me. Does everybody on the offensive side of the Indianapolis Colts, all of their wide receivers, all of their skill positions, do they all lose value with Gardner Minshew stepping in for Anthony Richardson, or is it actually a better situation for them?
I think they gain value.
Sorry, Pat?
I think they gain value.
They gain value?
Yeah, Richardson's not running. So now Minshew he has his games. They're going to throw.
Fair. Very fair. What about you, JC? Is Minshew good for the skill positions?
If they were playing Jacksonville, possibly. If they were playing Houston in the division, possibly. I think they're running into the Ravens though. The Ravens, is kind of like bend it but don't break. I think the Ravens is just gonna like they should be able to stop Gardner Minshew as far as I'm concerned.
Fair. So like the Ravens, I will say they are really good against the run. So I'm not in on Zach Moss or Deion Jackson. I was out on Zach Moss last week, and he made me eat my words. It is what it is.
I'm still out on Zach Moss. I don't like him.
Yeah, I'm there too. I just have to admit when I was wrong. Last week I was wrong. Shit, I'll be wrong 1 week out of 17. With that being said, the Ravens secondary is pretty atrocious. The Ravens secondary are giving up a lot of points, not just in terms of like on the scoreboard, but they're giving up a lot of fantasy points and a lot of fantasy
Cincinnati. They had against Cincinnati, right? And then their other opponent was Pittsburgh,
Houston.
Yeah.
So,
Cincinnati without Burrow being Burrow,
Yeah. So look, it's not. They're not playing up to their typical Baltimore Ravens standard. Right?
Well, the pass rush is awful. The pass rush is awful, and the DBs are getting exposed.
I agree.
So Pat, I like what you said about Minshew because this can low key be a DFS winner on this side, right?
I'll take it.
So who do you like as a skilled position player on the Colts offensive side?
I like Pittman.
You like Pittman?
Yeah, I like Pittman always.
Yeah. So he's $6,000. If I'm trying to find savings, is like an Alec Pierce or a Josh Downs or any of them somebody in play, or is it Pittman or bust?
It's Pittman or bust. Pittman ain't. If he's not doing nothing, then neither is Minshew.
Fair.
But I think Minshew's going to tear it up.
I would
Minshew's throwing for 300 yards.
I would agree with that. They're going to want at least the veteran to,
You don't see Minshew throwing 300 yards?
I would say 300 is a little bit out there because it is fucking Gardner Minshew, right? Yeah. It's out there. 250, 225, doable. 250 is even pushing it for me. I have him projected for 223 passing yards. So 225, that's all I will say.
I can see Baltimore winning this game though, but him getting a lot of garbage.
For sure. And he's priced in at $5,900, so it's not bad for DFS play. I'm just anticipating a lot of turnovers. So if I do want a skill position there, I think the pay up on a question mark like a Michael Pittman is tough for me. So I would be more inclined to go with the Josh Downs. I feel like Josh Downs, $3,700, he would be a safe play, and he's a spike week or bust kind of guy, and like. I'd rather go with him there. I don't want anything to do with their tight end, Kyle Granson. Sure, he got into the end zone last week, but so does Zach Moss. I want nothing to do with him. So let's talk Ravens. Is it Gus the bust time? Because Justice Hill
is. It definitely is, 100%. This is his monster week, and then
someone else going to dress.
Okay, so well, I mean, Kenyon Drake is dressing, and I think Melvin Gordon is dressing. But Pat, I need to ask you a question. Give me a stats projection. Like, I want to bet on what you say right now. I'm going to bet on what you say right now. Lock it in. Gus Edwards, what are your projections?
Gus over 100 yards.
Okay, how many touchdowns?
Just one, because they'll give one to Kenyon or somebody else.
Oh, God.
You know that's going to happen, right?
I like that.
Somebody else will get a touchdown.
Or Melvin.
Yep. Or maybe no touchdowns, but he's getting 100 yards. 100 yards is coming.
What about you, JC?
In terms of what? The running backs or just the Ravens in general?
Ravens in general. My bad.
I mean, like Zay. It's Zay. Zay all day. Zay and Mark Andrews. What else we got? Maybe
I agree with that. I love Zay.
Maybe a deep shot with Rashad Bateman. Maybe. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Zay's getting all the volume, all the targets there, and Mark Andrews is still his security guy, his go-to.
Completely agree.
In the middle of the field. What else is there? What else do we got?
Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar. Once again, another one of those names where it's like super cheap, super tertiary, but below, $3,900.
What's the word? Patriot? What's the word after tertiary? What's fourth cheery? Is there a fourth cheery?
It's bottom feeder. We would say We would say shrimp. We'll call him a shrimp, a bottom feeder.
Nelson Aguilar is like my age.
Yeah, I like Aguilar. The fans in Philly don't.
A wonderful veteran, wonderful.
He was
God
a Patriot.
bless,
I think that has something to do with it.
God bless the man.
No, he's just in position
He
to
is.
do it. I think Zay Flowers is a safe bet simply because he's priced below the $5,500 marker. Obviously, Rashad Bateman's priced at $4,400, but he's not getting a lot of utilization. Maybe he's still banged up or he's in the doghouse. I'm not too sure. Here's what I know. I know that whatever the three receivers you pick, you got to get them because this Indianapolis Colts secondary is awful against the pass.
Yes,
The front seven's pretty decent against the run. So I'm actually out on Gus the Bus. I'm out on Gus the Bus. I hate to say it, but I'm out.
Can't believe I'm hearing this.
I know. This is not the week. It's just a matchup thing. Eli says, is it worth buying KJ low or just say, screw it, Addison's the guy? You need to elaborate on buying low, like trading for him. I wouldn't trade for him.
Well,
He's not a trade target.
What would be wrong with keeping Addison at this point? There's no harm to that.
None.
Are you talking about DFS? I would say KJ is worth a shot on DFS, but I don't think Addison's priced up too high. I think he's $5,700. Stephen Hulick says Mark Andrews day. Eli says Ravens will win their division. Okay. Beckham is out. Flowers is going to ball, says Ron. I don't disagree.
Beckham's a cut, in my opinion. In a redraft, you cut him.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know why anybody's holding him. There's so many people I see holding him.
Do we have rushing props for Lamar?
Oh, there you go.
Lamar rushing props. You know I got that.
Well, I know.
I know
you do.
All right. So his rushing prop right now is 45.5 rush yards. He's been under each time. But I still have him projected for 55.7. I don't
like that. I'm over too. I'm over.
I'm not taking it. I don't want it.
Oh,
no. I don't want it. Not in this offense.
Well, because I mean, like
it, I might consider it.
You don't really have much of a ground running back game here right now. I Gus the Bus. I mean, like Gus. Let's not forget Gus the Bus is like RB2 on this team now. RB1.
True.
And he a lot like. And this may be an unpopular opinion, a lot like another dude that we may be talking about in a little bit. That's now an RB1.
Jerome Ford. Okay. I like where your head's at. I like how you're thinking, sir.
It works sometimes.
I think Gus is a potentially a league winner right now.
Ron Cure says, should I drop Howell and pick up Minshew? No.
I do like Minshew better this week, though.
It's a better matchup for sure. I agree. I agree. Okay. So we've talked about that game. I'm okay with that game. But like I like the foresight, I like the preparation, and I like the segue, intentional or not. I don't know. Tennessee Titans are actually 3.5-point dogs coming into Cleveland. The over/under is 39.5.
39.5, as if there's a snowstorm going on now in Cleveland. 39.5.
Yeah.
That tells you just one thing.
It's a rainstorm, and the rain is actually the tears of Nick Chubb owners in fantasy football. And Nick Chubb
been too terrible.
It's possible.
It's so sad. But I didn't get a lot of exposure on Nick Chubb because he was just priced too high in best ball, and I have 0 of him in redraft. So talk to me, guys. Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, kind of an ugly game to pick from. We know that Tennessee is the worst DB core in terms of allowing fantasy points to wide receivers, but we also know Deshaun Watson's playing hot garbage football. Amari Cooper isn't him right now. Elijah Moore, we need more, and Donovan Peoples-Jones he's Donovan Bustin Jones. So make sense of this game. Is there anybody we like? Is there anybody we don't like? Let's make this one quick because I hate this matchup. And you mentioned earlier Jerome Ford. How do you feel about Jerome Ford against this Tennessee Titans run defense? You kind of don't want to play any running back against.
It could. All right, so like just to hedge my feelings a little bit in terms of this situation, it could be lightning in a bottle. It really could. It could be another league
like vitamin
winner.
water.
Yeah, just like vitamin water.
Just like vitamin water.
it could very well be a league winner that you snag this guy in like round 15, or you used up 70% of your fab budget and got him
Yes.
in replacement of Nick Chubb. A, they're playing the Tennessee Titans, as you just alluded. B, he didn't really run that wonderful. He wasn't that effective against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, he had that huge long run, 70-yarder. After that, he only ran for another 36 yards for the
Very
rest of the
valid.
game. His yards per carry were good, yes, all right, but still.
The numbers are skewed.
Their numbers
Yeah.
are heavily skewed. We do, and here's the other thing: they just brought in Kareem Hunt, who knows the team. So, like, Kareem Hunt should be on the field. Unlike, we don't know whether Cam Akers will be back on the field for
Minnesota.
for his new team. So, I don't know about Jerome Ford yet. That's all. And how about Tennessee though? Tennessee, we're expecting a heavy ground game, but it may not
You
be
must.
it may not be what we're thinking.
I
Right?
agree.
Yeah.
It may not be
Yeah.
what we're thinking.
Yeah,
Because
Maybe more
this game,
Tajay.
it's a DFS trap. It's a fantasy football trap. It's
Yeah.
it's a bet trap. Like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, it's easy to go and say, okay, Jerome Ford under, but like there's always that outlier performance where he could get us a 70, 80-yard touch again because he does have that burst, right? We could say, Tennessee's going to control the rock, feed Derrick Henry all day, and Derrick Henry's going to score 2 touchdowns. But Cleveland's run defense, not bad.
Right.
Not bad.
I'm out on Henry right now. He's got a little turf toe or something going on. I don't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, then there's Tajay Spears, who could also be, semi-decent. And
Yeah.
like
sneaky
JC
word.
said, Kareem Hunt. So for me, it's avoid the run game. So do I like any of the wide receiver cores in this matchup? I mean, you got to go with Cleveland because it's the worst, it's the worst pass defense allowing fantasy points to wide receivers. But I just don't trust Deshaun Watson, and I don't trust Amari Cooper. I don't trust Elijah Moore. I don't trust Donovan Peoples-Jones. And
It's an
me
ugly
not
game.
trusting them and making it personal is probably going to bite me in the ass because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly. You got to go the home team in this game.
If for betting purposes, it's a game that you'd want to stay away from.
I agree.
For
I
betting
agree 100%.
purposes.
I agree 100%.
In terms of fantasy, obviously you're still starting your DeAndre Hopkins. You're still starting Amari Cooper. You're obviously going to start Jerome Ford. Everybody who just picked him up or had him obviously is feasting on the idea of him. So, Treylon Burks is borderline. And who are we missing? Besides Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears. I don't know if I would do Tajay Spears alone.
We're missing tight ends. Is this a tight end game?
Chig?
Chig or Njoku?
Not Njoku.
No.
I don't trust that. Like, it goes back to Deshaun Watson. Like, why would I try? Like, no.
Yeah, I'm literally like, there's like even Derrick Henry in DFS. Like, sure, if you got Derrick Henry in redraft league, play him, boo boo.
Yeah, you got to play him
because you invested. But like in DFS, he's what, $6,900 right now? Let me see, $6,800. I haven't projected as my RB number 5, but paying $6,800 for RB number 5 production, it's pretty shitty, right? And we don't know if that's promised. Anyways, that's enough about that game. Let's go to the next one. Another weird one. Carolina. The matchmakers really suck. Carolina Panthers plus 6.5 dogs against the Seattle Seahawks. They're coming into Seattle. The over-under is 42. Bryce Young, I believe, is out. So the Red Rocket is queued up and booted up and ready to rock.
Does he have a new name? Disco just gave a new name.
He just got
Red Rocket? No, that's been around. Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, he's always been the Red Rocket. Yeah.
No, I thought it was Rifle. It's not Rifle?
Red Rocket, Red Rifle. I don't know. I don't know.
It all counts.
I mean, whatever.
Again, another barn burner, nevertheless.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Miles Sanders, is Miles Sanders playable in this game? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think you want the running backs here. I think you want the running backs on both sides. I think in DFS, Andy Dalton might be a sneaky play. I think Andy Dalton might be a sneaky play at $5,800. He's going against the 20th worst defense in terms of allowing fantasy points
You're a brave
to
man.
the quarterback position, and he is a confident quarterback who can deliver the rock in a good system. So I don't see why I wouldn't play Andy Dalton as well in DFS. Like here's what I learned from my first 2 weeks in DFS this year. It makes no sense putting all of your budget on a $7,300 or a $7,800 Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen when they're getting quite significant amount of points, but you can't afford anything else after that.
Yeah.
So
and they better really smash at that. They better really smash at that spot for you to win it all.
Exactly. And how many other people are playing them? So how are you going to be unique to stand out against them, right? So you want to get these cheapos, these guys who have a good matchup and they're dirt cheap, and you want to budget off of that. So that was my lesson that I took away. So I'm looking for these cheapos, and I think the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, I like him. I might fire him up in like a good 25% of my DFS drafts. But yeah, Kenneth Walker, phenomenal play. Miles Sanders, phenomenal play. Is there any receivers on the Carolina side that you guys want?
Well, that's what I was just about to ask you. If you like Andy Dalton, who's on the receiving end of Andy Dalton? Just give me whoever. Who
the old man.
All right.
The old man? Is it the old man?
The old man.
Thielen? Is it Hayden Hurst? Hayden Hurst?
They got the most quotable receiving room ever. They got hooked on a Thielen and DJ Chark. I'm going DJ Chark. DJ Chark smash game through the roof. I like DJ Chark in this matchup.
I'll tell you what, I could see that, and that could be the big topic. We're talking the DJ Chark theme all over again.
So DJ Chark is a spike week freak. I have a lot of exposure to him in best ball. I love DJ Chark. He's
back. Great call.
He's good. He's ready to rock. He's healthy. Thielen's going to get his, but Thielen's going to be more of a volume play. If we're talking boom or bust, if we're talking high ceiling, DJ Chark in this game has as high of a ceiling as a DK Metcalf and a Tyler Lockett in this game, in this particular matchup, because of how bad Seattle's defense has been. So, with that being said, we saw a Khalif Raymond go crazy. We saw a Craig Reynolds go crazy. These are both Detroit guys. Chark is a former Detroit guy. It kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. Maybe I'm reaching too far here, but I like it. I like it. Uh-oh.
Not crazy.
Ron Kerr says, screw the Seacocks.
Well, he's a Ram. He's a Ram. That's why.
Oh, it's a divisional rival.
Yeah.
Noted.
Noted.
I love it, Ron. Let's go.
That's Rams.
Noted. Uncle Mercy says Thielen. He's hooked on a Thielen. Hooked on a Thielen. All right.
I like
Thielen,
that.
Great last name. Yep. Melissa says, I'm taking a work break, Uncle. Okay. Is JSN going to finally do something? No. I think Metcalf, Lockett, both safe plays, both good plays. In terms of DFS, I'd be more inclined to go with Lockett because he's cheaper. Hi.
I knew this was coming.
I have my hand up. When are we going to get JSN if it's not
this
happening? Week? When is it going to happen? Yeah, where was it? Week 5? Is it going to be week 7? If it's not against Carolina and DK Metcalf and his broken ribs, when are we getting him?
If DK or JSN are out, or if DK or Lockett are out, I think that's when we get a JSN game, because the way they run their offense, if you're looking formation-wise, it's 2 wide receivers, if that,
and him
2 tight ends. 2 tight ends.
2 tight ends is what's killing this.
And a running back.
Yes.
But like they don't have the pass protection and the offensive line to not have a running back or tight end stay in and block, right? That's why Kenneth Walker. So that's when it's going to be a JSN game, unless they get like a Lyle Collins.
As soon as one of them 2 are out completely, it's a JSN.
I took a look at Jonesy's numbers on the website, which are phenomenal, by the way. Shout out to Jonesy.
Absolutely.
Through 2 weeks, JSN's targets were no greater, no less than, I believe, Tyler Lockett's. If not, it was either Lockett's or DK Metcalf's.
Well, he's going to take over Lockett.
His targets are the same. I'm pretty damn sure, and I could go to it right now. But
yeah. Pull up the numbers. Let me know about that. So if you have to choose between Lockett, DK, Patrick, who are you going with?
I'm going DK. I'm not a Lockett fan.
I'm not a Lockett fan either, but still,
he has them 1 week wonders, and then he's going to fade away for 3 weeks. You got to hope. Because
I like the advanced stats that Jonesy pulls up, so I'd be curious to see
snaps and targets. Snaps and targets. Where are we here?
I'd be curious. Antonio says, "What up? What up, bonus Jolito? I miss you, buddy." Yeah, I'm going to agree with Melissa. DK all day. I love DK, but I also think Lockett is another smash play. He's consistent. Everybody writes him off, and he's a vet now, 31 years old, and he's balling out. Go ahead, JC.
The targets through 2 weeks. Lockett has 14. Metcalf has 11. JSN has 11. These are the targets, not the snap. The snap percentage is a little different. Metcalf is at 108. Lockett's at 106. JSN's at 70.
See, once that snap comes up, that's when it's going to happen.
And that was a low snap count probably week 1 where he was still,
milking that injury.
Yeah, with a broken wrist or something.
But in terms of the low snap count and the targets, it's pretty efficient. So we got to ask ourselves, what is he doing with opportunities? So you're right. It could be any day and any given moment. But like right now, his floor is unpredictable. So that's why I'm out on JSN. But you're absolutely right. He could smash.
Again, you want to talk about another a rookie drafted in the first round that's high capital. I mean, like, come on, it's time to put him to work.
Unfortunately, they might not feel that way yet. We'll be dropping him in redraft.
I'm not dropping him.
I'm not either.
I know you're not. I'm not.
Oh, I'm not either.
I'm not either. I have him in Adrian's league, Adrian Knifey's league.
Yeah, see, Uncle Mercy. There's the problem right there. Noah Fant's on the field.
Yep.
Noah Fant.
Will Disley.
Will
and none of them are any good. None of them are any good.
No, they're all hot garbage. That's how we feel about Noah Fant. Adrian says Lockett consistently finishes as a wide receiver 15 or better.
It's amazing.
And we sleep on him constantly. I don't sleep on him. I'm with you. One day regression will happen, but he's still the guy. He's still that guy. The vet. I like it.
He does, but the problem with him is he has that one big game and then goes away for 3 weeks. Then comes back with another.
He doesn't have a safe floor, but we know that when he wants on any given Sunday.
So for DFS, he's great.
Yeah, he's going to break football. Uncle Mercy says Disley's hurt. All right, I've talked enough about this game. Do you guys feel like you have anything else to talk about this game, or can we move on to this next one?
We can move on.
Because this next one, it's got a story of redemption. It's got, the FBI coming in. It's got, Peanut Tillman potentially involved. Shout out to NFL Rumors.
This is it.
Got the Chicago Bears, who are 12-point dogs, coming to Kansas City. The over-under.
Look at that number. Look at that freaking number.
Yeah.
I missed that number. What was the number at?
12.
The spread is 12.
Wow.
Plus 12.
And rising, I'm sure.
I do love the little purple graphics you put there at the bottom. That, by the way, it's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate you. So I'll pull up that purple graphic since you like it so much.
I do love it. When that comes up, it sticks out. It's the way it should be. It's awesome. Your graphics are amazing, by the way. I just don't tell you enough.
I appreciate you, man. I like your new logo. I wish I put it up, but we were kind of all over the place. I like your logo too, JC.
I love them all.
Well, all right, let's talk about this game. This is getting weird. Let's talk about this game.
Sorry, let's go.
Do we see a redemption song for Justin Fields after he threw his offensive coordinator under the bus? After his defensive this is a bad week for coordinators in Chicago. After his defensive coordinator, quote unquote, got raided, maybe not, maybe did, maybe Peanut Tillman was playing defense for Chicago or for the Feds. Who knows? Do we have a redemption game? Is this game a trap, or is it like no? We're riding with, or are we riding with Kansas City?
I mean,
you're riding Kansas City, but the Bears will put some points up this week. I don't know how. At 48 over under, they're putting some points up. That over under's way too high for them not to.
Yeah,
way too high. It's not going to be a one-sided game all the way. I mean, it's not going to be like. What do you think? It's going to be like 35-7? I don't see it.
I could see 35-14. Just if we're gonna do the predicting game, the predict the score. I think this is the game. Everyone's expecting now Joseph Fields to now start to take off with the rock, right?
Right.
And if we are all saying that, that means like Kansas City is going to anticipate that also. I think this could again potentially be a very, very bad situation. It really can. On the other hand, because they are going to be down, I would expect Fields to take, some shots. I expect Justin Fields to, throw maybe underneath an intermediary type passes. At the end of the day, it's just not going to work out for Chicago.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just not. On the other side of the ball, I have no idea which wide receiver is going to have a game for Kansas City. We know that Kelsey is going to be highly targeted, and we know that Mahomes will just he'll relax in the fourth quarter almost.
Right.
If we are all going to ride that bandwagon of this is like a blowout, according to the spread of 12 Bears in Kansas City, it's not a good game for them.
So let me ask you a question, both of you. Justin Fields, I believe we were all high on him. Maybe not JT. I don't recall.
No, I was high on him.
Yeah, we all got
I was definitely high on him.
Okay. Are we panicking? Is this a situation where maybe we luckily got a Matthew Stafford on the bench? Like if you had to pick one this weekend to start, say you picked up Matthew Stafford on your bench, who are you starting? You going Stafford or Fields?
I'm going Fields for garbage. I do like Stafford long term though. When you get, I just picked up Stafford myself.
Also, we got breaking news. I didn't hear this because I've been face deep in research all day, but apparently this is news. Their field house, the Bears field house, was robbed today. Bears' entire franchise is a mockery.
It is.
Oh, that's from Adrian Fidesz.
There's a lot of things that are adding up. That
doesn't add up.
That don't add up in reality, but that don't bode well for the Chicago Bears right now. It's just one thing.
They should have been on Hard Knocks, dude. They should have been on Hard Knocks.
They should have.
It's one thing after another. Like, how can we expect this team to perform at a high level this Sunday against the Super Bowl champions on top of it?
All right, now let me ask you another question. Because every point you guys are making is valid. I don't disagree. I was so blind on the Justin Fields thing, but now I see the light. Ashton one says, I think Bears scramble and score some points. So I like the over under here. I like that too. I
too.
I think you're spot on there with your take, buddy.
It's not terrible.
Adrian Fidesz says 100K lawnmower is a diamond studded. Apparently that was stolen. That was
wow.
Chris Jones is going to have Fields for lunch, says Ron Karras.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well, Uncle Mercy, 0 shares of Fields this year in 34 leagues. He also said all OSU quarterbacks suck. I don't disagree.
Well,
but I do like Stroud. I do like Fields. I may have a couple of best ball teams.
Let's go back to the original question that you asked: Stafford over Fields in this particular matchup, and Stafford is playing the Bengals, correct?
On Monday night, yes, sir.
I think I would still roll with Fields to maybe have one of these vintage, if that's a good word for Justin Fields in a short 3-year career, vintage. Have one of those running type games of 100 yards and a score. Maybe he could throw one in, and then maybe that's going to garner over 20 fantasy points for your quarterback.
Right. So let's take a step back. His accusations for the offensive coordinator, right,
is robotic.
They're making him robotic, right? So making him a good systematic quarterback, if that constitutes making him robotic, what's the other side? It's great for fantasy, don't get me wrong, and fantasy football players don't want the robotic Justin Fields. But if we're talking about a winning football team, is you making big plays by not following the scheme and the system and playing textbook football because like there's ways where a quarterback who can run, i.e., Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, can get involved and not be robotic within a system. And then there's what you're doing, right? And that's where my confusion is, and that's where I'm discouraged. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the coach, the offensive coordinator is going to unleash him," but like, what's on the other side of unleashing him? Right. And that's what I'm worried about. Like, sure, it might be great for fantasy football. So that's why I'm going to start Justin Fields all day. But if you're a Chicago Bears fan right now, you need to come back to reality. Because I was with you guys in Yahoo Land and Sleeperland saying like, oh, Fields and DJ Moore all day.
Sleeperland.
So speaking of DJ Moore,
right?
You guys starting him?
Yeah.
You guys mentioned him.
Who are you going to play?
Yeah.
Brandon, okay, I'm asking myself personally. All right, myself personally. Okay, he's my flex right now.
Yeah,
he could also be my wide receiver 2 if Jalen Waddle's out. So
I think Waddle's going to be out. I don't know. They're rumoring him to get practice though.
Brandon Cooks, P. Ryan, or DJ Moore, or Marvin Mims, Jaden Reed. DJ Moore seems like the clear-cut winner, right?
100% DJ Moore.
Fudge. I
don't
hate
even
it.
think about that.
I hate it. I'm losing sleep.
And
over
here's
it,
the thing. I think you still have to go DJ Moore. Here's the thing. Yeah, DJ Moore. They brought DJ Moore in to help Fields in the passing game. They drafted an offensive lineman that with that high pick, that trade down pick was an offensive lineman out of
University.
Okay, thank you. Right. Who is like rated very, very high, supposedly.
Road grader.
Okay, so they put some of these pieces in play for Justin Fields, and now he's expected to be that robotic quarterback. Where I think what Justin Fields wanted to say and he didn't say was, I need to have the ability to improv.
Yes.
I'll sit there and I'll try to survey the field as quickly as I possibly can, but don't make me go to the first progression. Don't make me read the second. Don't make me go to the third. If it's not there at 1 and 2, I'm out.
Yeah, they want him going back through 1 through 3 and then back to 1.
Right. So that's what I think he wanted to say. Again, that's what I think, and that's the Justin Fields that we had last season. The one that ran for well over 100 yards multiple times and 1,100 yards for the season.
He's running for 100 this game.
All right.
Very possible. Very possible.
All right. Now, this is frustrating. Adrian Fidesz says Bears line actually is doing an okay job. Fields just holds the ball so damn long.
That's going
2 reads and then take off.
Exactly. Well said.
All right. Uncle Mercy says, "Go get Allen Robinson." I'm in a league with Sharks, brother. He's gone. I love it. Adrian Fidesz, fool me 5 times, Allen Robinson. I'd rather have one of the young guys that could house the ball than 3.8 fantasy points. Can't get separation. A-Rob, amen. I'm not doing that. Uncle Mercy agrees. Okay. So in other news, I got another lock. Okay, I got another lock on my drafters props.
Can't wait.
And this one, it's like, so Patrick Mahomes right now, his prop on drafters is 283.5 passing yards. I got him projected for 305.6 passing yards.
Easy.
Once again, sign up on Drafters Fantasy Sports using promo code DiscoDrafts1. Your first bet is on me. I will match your initial deposit dollar for dollar up to $100 Rooskies. You're welcome.
That's a free money one right there.
It's free money. All right.
Well, let me just say, Disco, the only reason why that doesn't come in is if they're like blowing them out in 3 quarters.
I also think Pacheco is a fucking phenomenal play this game. I think Pacheco, should he be healthy, is a phenomenal play. Should Pacheco not be healthy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, league winner in DFS. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Ooh,
if Pacheco's hamstring does not, it's not ready, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I even think Clyde Edwards-Helaire, no matter what, and like that's another thing that like I feel stupid for saying, but the numbers don't lie. This is a bottom run defense. All running backs against this run defense. It's not an opportunity. It's not a volume thing. It's whoever's the fucking guy is going to ball out and have a game
Are you,
against the guys.
Don P? Are you starting Roshan this week?
Yeah. I like Roshan. Bears are going to do better than everybody expects. They're still going to lose, but they're going to do better.
I think Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool have a better game than DJ Moore, and I hate saying that. I really hate saying that. And
I don't see Claypool. I'm a Steeler fan.
Claypool got into the end zone last week. You guys I don't see it, but I told you.
There's no Deadpool.
I know, but
No
they'll fade
Deadpool.
away.
All right.
Claypool got too much of a personality. He's got to.
Just
They force fed him last week. Force fed.
On to the next game and the last game of the day slate.
Wow.
We actually have 3 more games that we can talk about. If you guys want to stick around and talk about it, I'm down. And I got it queued up and I got numbers for it and all that good jazz. Dallas Cowboys, 12.5-point favorites, losing Trayvon Diggs for the season on a routine practice play on a torn ACL. Coming into Arizona Cardinals here. Not a trap. This game is not a trap.
No.
It's definitely not a trap. What was the spread again? 12.5. Yeah, I would even do like an advanced spread and go 20.5.
Yeah,
it's going to be ugly. It's going to be disgusting. This isn't Washington. This isn't the New York Giants. This is a real team. Trayvon Diggs or not.
Arizona's been playing out of their mind right now.
This is a real team.
This is a real team. America's team. America's team. Sure, Trayvon Diggs is not going to be in there, but Micah Parsons is going to be taking the snap away from Joshua Dobbs. It's going to be ugly. I think we're going to see Clayton Tune and maybe even the punter going at quarterback because Micah Parsons is just going to eat them alive. It's going to be biblical. So here's my hesitancy, right? I love Dak Prescott in this game simply for the numbers and the opportunity. I love, obviously the main guys, the main 3, right? Back then you had Troy Aikman, you had Irv Smith, and you have not Irv Smith,
Michael Irvin.
It's a combination.
Michael Irvin, Irv Smith, fuck that guy. Irv Smith. Michael Irvin, and you had Emmett, right? It was Emmett Smith.
Yep.
Now you kind of got like the new trio.
Tony the Tiger.
Tony Pasta, Tony Pollard. You got CeeDee Lamb, which is not his real name. I just learned that.
Wow, didn't know that either.
There's like 16 wide receivers that are not using the real names. It's all fake names. It's crazy. Like Tank Dell, it's not his real name. T. Higgins.
We know. I knew Tank Dell. That wasn't his real name. I didn't know CD seemed like a real name.
T. Higgins, not his real name. There's a lot of wide receivers who are not using the real name right now. And
Twitter.
Jamar Chase, that's not his real first name. Really? Yeah. It's freaking hilarious. I'm going to do a video on it.
His name is Jamar. What's his name? What's his real name?
I don't have it in front of me. I saw the video and I thought it was funny, and it's true. It's true.
All right. Dallas is gonna
romp them.
I don't even
for sure. But here's my concern, and hear me out.
Okay.
Because Dallas is going to stomp them so bad, I think we're going to see what we saw with the New York Giants the first week, where yes, Tony Pollard, sure, he got a lot of utilization, he got into the end zone twice. But we didn't get to see the Dak breakout game where Dak is going to just
have 4 touchdowns.
40. Yeah, we're not going to see the CD game here because I anticipate they're going to be up so big. So I want Dak Prescott so bad in all of my DFS lineups because he's only priced at $6,400, which is pretty cheap. And I got him projected as my QB number 9. But that's not factoring in the fact that this is going to be an absolute stompage and blowout. And they're going to just protect their players. So, maybe a Rico Dowdle, maybe a Michael Gallup, maybe a Jake Ferguson game.
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn, that's a nice one.
Right? I feel yes, the starters are going to play, but I feel like the Cowboys defense are going to outscore the New York Giants for the whole season. It's rough. And I'm sorry, Adrian, I keep ripping on your Giants. I had a Giants guy come in to space last night.
Sedarian DeLeon.
Dallas defense is going to score more points than Arizona offense. Facts.
Yeah, definitely.
Steelers are America's team. Oh,
yeah, my man.
Oh, it's Sedarian DeLeon.
So CD. I like CD better.
Sedarian Leon. Wow.
I don't know if that's the actual name though. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, so with that being said, do you guys feel like my take is valid? Do you guys feel like I'm overreacting? That these guys are like must plays in DFS and in your region?
Totally agree.
It's almost parallel to the Kansas City Chicago game at this point. Almost. Only this one is just the Cowboys are expected to really just route all together and like have all the second and tertiary units playing in like the mid third or all the fourth quarter. So
you know what? I'm going to go back to that Chicago Bears. I'm taking the Bears money line. I feel like the Bears are gonna. I feel like Justin Fields game.
You do that, baby.
100 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Let's go.
I'm telling you, 100 yards rushing, it's on.
100 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. I want it. I want to see it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's get weird. I'm going to do it. Okay. So is there anybody on the Arizona side you guys want in this game? Trayvon Diggs is out. So Hollywood Brown, that's his opportunity.
What about
Rondell
Zach?
Moore.
Just give me Zach Ertz, that's it.
Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson. Just
Wilson.
nice talent, wrong week.
Wrong way.
Nice talent, wrong team.
No James Conner at all either. Don't even touch him.
No. I mean, like James Conner is priced at a pretty penny, but like, I don't know. I feel like this game is a DFS trap. Like, as much as the starters on Dallas make sense, it also doesn't make sense because they're going to be blowing them out. And like, I want somebody who's going to get full utilization. Let's go to the next game, unless you guys want to go, because we got all the daytime slate. We still got 3 games.
We got to get moving because I got to get up at 1. So unfortunately for me, it's a tough
no
one.
worries, brother. No worries, brother.
Appreciate that, man.
JC, you got to go, or you able to stick around?
We can
JC will hang with you.
keep rolling.
Patrick, I love you, brother.
See you guys. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to come back again.
Always a pleasure. I'll see you next Friday, brother. And I'll
right.
John P, I'll see you later.
All right, buddy. Later,
see you
guys.
tomorrow night on the VAR show.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
See you later.
Later, guys.
See you, buddy. What a spectacular human being that guy is.
Spectacular human being.
Just the greatest of all time.
It's facts.
Bah, goat. All right.
That's right.
Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what? He's a smart guy. He left just before we started talking about Pittsburgh. He's a smart guy. He left.
We have Uncle Mercy still, right?
Yeah.
Uncle Mercy, huge still a fan.
That's my Sports Says Connor time. Oh God.
Again, good player.
Wrong
Wrong game. Wrong
Yeah.
team.
Uncle Mercy
game.
says Gallup getting any run. He might as well. I think the quarterback the backup quarterback.
Yeah,
might
you
even
know
get
what?
some
You know
run.
what? I hate to say it also, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Like, I'd be afraid for someone to get hurt in this game.
Well, that's what I said. I said Dobbs is going to be like we're going to see the backup punter.
I'd be afraid for
punter.
somebody just getting like somebody like could get hurt in this game. But
Hopefully, it's not Tony Pollard or CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott. I hope it's none of them. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 2.5-point dogs coming into Vegas. I actually have Pittsburgh winning this game straight up.
in Vegas,
The over/under is 43.0. It's in Vegas. Najee, what's going on, brother? Are we starting him or are we benching him? Are we trading him low or are we panicking? What's going on?
This is
Everybody saying Jalen Warren. Talk to me.
Well, Jalen Warren, everyone's saying it because like he's gotten more time on the field now than he ever has this early in the season. Jalen Warren looked really good in preseason also, but let's get back to Najee. Supposedly, this is the get right game. This is the big game for Najee to get right. So let's see it. I hope so. Let's see if Canada could dial something up, sketch something out for Najee, and let them just run all over the Las Vegas Raiders. And again, Pickett looked good with Pickens. Yeah, Pickens. That connection looks pretty good. I know Allen Robinson's on the other side now that Deontay Johnson's out. Maybe a little Muth action off of the play action with Najee. Could you see that? Is that a good play? Do you like that?
Freiermuth?
Freiermuth.
I like Freiermuth. He's one of my most owned tight ends. I love Freiermuth. I generally adore Freiermuth. Here's my take. probably the two toughest defenses to play in terms of the running game for Najee. What was his first 2 weeks?
Okay.
The two toughest run defenses that one can play in his first 2 weeks, right? Joe Mixon didn't do much against Cleveland. We saw what freaking San Fran did just yesterday against the Giants. I know, I know, but
I know where you're going. Yeah, San Fran.
So you're right. It should be a get right game, but what if he doesn't get right after this game? What are we doing?
There's a serious conversation as to the offensive coordinator is not doing the job.
No, okay? Not at all.
Yeah. He's not doing the job if Najee Harris is still held in check for most of the game. The offensive line, I mean, I think a lot will be said regarding the OC and the Steelers in general if they can't at least put up a good game here. I'm not saying that they're going to win the game. You know, going on the road is tough no matter where the hell you are. Now they have to go from, Pennsylvania all the way to Las Vegas and try to, squeak out a win. So, again, a lot will be said. This is supposed to be the get-right Najee game. I don't know if that's going to take place or not. Am I starting him? Back to the original question? Yeah. You have to start Najee Harris still. You have to. You hope that you drafted another running back ahead of him, which is, I would think, most likely the case. And if he gets you a good game, that's good, solid production out of your RB2 spot. Are you playing him in DFS? If the price is right, yeah, you're playing him against the Raiders. Sure.
I try to avoid the Sunday night slates. It's the single game slates. I don't like in DFS. I like them in gambling. I don't like them in DFS. That's my sports says. Is Big Pat Freiermuth going to get any burn in this offense? I kept hearing he was going to eat this season. Well, look at what Darren Waller did against San Fran. You know what I mean? Nobody's produced against these two defenses in the running back position and the tight end position. What do you think, JC?
Again, I mean, I think what we're hoping for is that, we see some, adjusted, changed up, glorified, okay, this is how the Steelers are supposed to look. This is how the Steelers are supposed to hum. This is the rhythm that we expect, much like we saw in the preseason, actually. And it's like they kind of reverted back. So now, I mean, is that really on the OC? I don't know.
Yeah,
I know everyone's calling for his head. I think they have to utilize all their weapons. That would be obviously Harris. That's obviously their tight end, and that's obviously George Pickens.
For sure.
And it all has to be in sync.
For sure. Now, I mean, in the perfect world, that would be ideal. But let's talk about another struggling running back right now, and another running back who's creating a lot of frustration for fantasy football owners, Josh Jacobs. Is this his get-right game? Because Pittsburgh's dead last against the run.
Isn't this our anatomical adaptation game? I mean, when it hasn't 5,000 reps kicked in by now, and let's just say yes, they have. You just said it yourself. This is his get-right game.
It's got to.
The Steelers' run defense hasn't been good.
But then again, the Steelers' run defense also, because
surprisingly,
the sample size has been so small.
True.
Right? The defense has been on the field a lot. And if it wasn't for big play games and big plays in general for CMC and for Jerome Ford, they're still kind of in the mix, right?
And they've given up that big play. You're right.
So, and I'm not going to say that either one of their O-lines sucks, because San Francisco's 49ers offensive line, top 5. The Cleveland Browns offensive line, top 7. These are both spectacular offensive lines. The only difference in this game is the Raiders offensive line is not a top offensive line. And it's not Josh Jacobs' fault that he's getting tackled as he's receiving the handoff.
No.
Right? No, it's not his fault. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers run defense is also going to get right this game. And I hate it because I just traded for Josh Jacobs. I bought really low. I bought super low. I got Josh Jacobs. Any receivers you like here for the Raiders?
I mean, you have to go with Devontae Adams,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
After that, no.
Okay.
Oh, Jacoby Myers comes back.
Yeah.
Right? He was in concussion protocol. So, but
Yeah.
no, that's not someone that I would play. That's not someone that I would start. Devontae Adams is your wide receiver, supposedly the quarterback-proof wide receiver. It's interesting that you bring up. Well, we've talked about the running backs. For both sides, and what if they cancel themselves out? Both have shitty games. Both old lines just not good. Now what we're really asking is who's better under center? Is it Kenny Pickett or is it Jimmy Garoppolo? Who do you got now? What are we doing now? George Pickens
I'm going with Kenny Pickett because he's not going against that front seven. That front seven is terrifying. Highsmith, like everybody's giving, a lot of credit to the offenses that the Steelers have played against, and that's not the case because the defense has balled out in both games. But like when you're getting outsnapped, 70% of the time, like you're on the field 70% of the time, something's got to give. That defense is terrifying. TJ Watt, like they're scary. They're scary. Sure, their DBs are meh, but they're scary. They're freaking phenomenal. So yeah, I would rather be in Kenny Pickett's shoes than Jimmy G's shoes.
I think I would also. I would also
read the comments.
Yeah,
Myers has been cleared and is playing. Yep, we said that. Uncle Mercy says take away the 69-yard run from Ford and 65-yard from exactly. That's exactly what we said. See, same.
We have the smartest audience. That's why we.
Yeah. Steelers have better wide receivers than tight ends. I don't know about better wide receivers. Better tight ends, yes. Better wide receivers. George Pickens is phenomenal, but Devontae Adams he's him. He's him. He'll always be him. Never not him. So yeah. Okay, let's go to the next game. Philadelphia Eagles, 5-point favorites against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like at first glance this is a trap, but the Bucs, under their new offensive coordinator, they look pretty good. Baker Mayfield, and like here's something you got to consider, right? The Bucs' current offensive coordinator, he was the same offensive coordinator last year for Geno Smith in Seattle.
Okay.
So this guy can take broken, shitty fucking quarterbacks who have underperformed and done diddly squat and then turn them into, pretty good football players. Like he's the quarterback whisperer. So I don't think Baker Mayfield's a fluke. I don't think the Bucs offense is a fluke. So talk to me. Rachaad White, do we like him this week?
Against the Eagles, tough. I like the idea of Rachaad White, but
I just don't like the matchup.
I don't like the matchup, but I like the idea of him for the long-term play.
Yeah,
but not against the Eagles. And something else that I thought about from last night's show onto this particular matchup when we were talking about the Browns and the Titans with Jerome Ford, and obviously how that game's pace is projected to be slower game script, right? Who would you rather start? Would you rather start Jerome Ford or would you rather start the running back now in Philadelphia for the Eagles? And I think we all agreed yesterday that we'd rather have Jerome Ford based on the script of running the ball. But you know what? I thought about it afterwards, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? Because we addressed it again today in a post. I'd rather have DeAndre Swift. Why? The Eagles' offense. The Eagles' offense is going to be in the red zone a lot more often than those two teams. So
that means that you're relying on. Go ahead.
No. So to wrap that around, the Eagles I would take in this game. I would take DeAndre Swift as the running back. I think that they're firing on all cylinders. It may not have looked that pretty week 1. They certainly looked better last week. The Bucs are playing well. Yes, they are. It's a great story so far. But they're running into the Eagles.
So here's mine, right? And I think everything you said is absolutely spot on and valid, but I like to play devil's advocate.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Kenneth Gainwell's back. And there's no reason why, like, he went from like the bell cow role in week 1 to being injured to now, being the backup where Swift gets all the volume and touches and opportunity in the red zone. And let's also look at it this way. Jalen Hurts, should they get to the end zone and the red zone, he's the biggest threat to these running backs in their production. So I hear what you're saying loud and clear.
True.
It's just like, I feel like, Jerome Ford, DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, Rashad White, they're all major avoids this week. It's not that I don't like them. I love them all. Maybe not Gainwell. Fuck that guy.
That guy. Yeah, here's the other thing, right? Like, okay, so like Gainwell is like become like this, like it's like a myth and a legend at the same time, right? So Kenneth Gainwell was like a third down back last year when it came down to his usage. And he did the job pretty well, right? But Miles Sanders was on that. Miles Sanders had an exceptional year. Now, all of a sudden, Kenneth Gainwell, we're expecting him to just like go from that role now to this primary lead style rushing back. I don't think so.
I have zero exposure to Kenneth Gainwell, zero shares to Kenneth Gainwell because I'm a logical human like you.
So yeah, Kenneth Gainwell will get back on the field, which is fantastic. Kenneth Gainwell will resume his third down role, just like he had last year.
Yep.
It made it again, but to your point, yes, Jalen Hurts is the biggest threat to any of the running backs put together. But Eagles are always going to have they just have a lot more opportunity.
And
they have a lot more opportunity.
Apparently, Devonta Smith is banged up. I don't know how bad it is. Like, I think he should be a go, but like he's borderline questionable, not necessarily questionable. Like, he's limited. So I'll say that. Whatever. I think this is a get right game for Mr. AJ Brown. I'm with you. Devonta's been balling out. So let me ask you a question. Okay, in terms of fantasy, in terms of DFS, in terms of whatever, AJ Brown or Mike Evans this week?
Oh, I would go with AJ Brown for the positive touchdown regression. The fact that he got into like a little spat with Jalen last week. I think they're just going to try to like zero in on him. Like Evans is someone else is like playing lights out, but in a short sampling size, I expect him to come back down to earth.
It's not sustainable. I agree. Okay, so let's say AJ Brown or Chris Godwin.
Let's go AJ Brown again.
Okay. Let's go AJ Brown or Devonta Smith.
Oh, now you're making it really difficult. Devonta Smith's my guy.
I know he is.
I'll stick to my guns, although it may be detrimental to my own fantasy squads. I'm going to say that AJ Brown is the one that continues to get the targets tomorrow.
Okay. Now, is there a player in particular that could be on the waiver wire right now that somebody can pick up and play right away in this matchup?
In this matchup? Is Cade Otton available still?
That's the one.
That's
that
the guy?
Man. God, you're fucking brilliant, man. You're so good at what you do. This is why we have you here. You're not just a fucking voice, man. You are a fucking genius. Cade Otton.
I would like to deduct a few things real fast, and that's the end of it. But Cade Otton could be the guy for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna put the clamps down on Mike Evans, Chris Godwin is gonna be a fairly decent option, but Cade Otton could definitely see the end zone.
I like Godwin and Otton simply because the Philadelphia Eagles secondary, especially not necessarily the corners. The corners are stout. It's their safeties. Their safeties are fucking garbage. That's where they get exposed early and often, whether it be a receiver or a tight end. That's where they've been getting exposed on that deep post. So I kind of like Godwin a lot in this position, but Otton, it makes sense. We haven't seen it from him. It makes sense. I think Otton could be a phenomenal steal if you're struggling at the tight end position. You know, you need a little bit of pick me up. I like him there. Let's go to the last game on our slate. LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Over the Rams are actually 3-point underdogs in this one. Joe Burrow practiced today. The over-under is 44.0.
2021 Super Bowl rematch.
Right? Aaron Donald's going to be swinging his helmet in preseason.
It's amazing. You know, just a short 2 years removed, and look at what's happened. But, however, the Rams
look good.
The Rams are a freaking really nice story so far.
They look good.
I wrote them off as dead.
I did too.
With the exception of one guy, but now that one guy is not even the one that's garnering the receptions or the targets. The Rams are in Cincinnati. This is really just predicated on one thing as far as I'm concerned. Is Joe Burrow going to be able to move? Because I think he's going to play, but is he going to be able? Is he going to be mobile, or is he going to be stationary? And really just put himself in a really shitty situation.
Yes. I'm just going to agree with you. Yes,
no. See, what else is there?
I'll tell you my pain. I'll tell you why I'm like this right now. I'll tell you why I'm like this. Okay, I got Jamar Chase and I got Najee Harris, and I got DJ Moore.
I got Jamar Chase too in a couple leagues. It's a bad situation.
This is my main league. I got Najee Harris, DJ Moore, Jamar Chase. I got them all on the same team. I'm 0-2 right now, and I need all of them to fucking figure it out. And I just traded for Jalen Waddle. I got rid of George Kittle, who finally put up more than 5 fantasy football points. He got 16.3 in PPR format. Like, where was that for me in the first 2 weeks, George Kittle?
I get it.
I traded away Kenneth Walker. I got Rashad White. I'm like I got Chase, Najee, Rashad White, all playing the late games. And I'm like, dear Lord, baby Jesus, please let Jalen Waddle be healthy. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, please let my man Joe Burrow be healthy. And please let Jamar Chase ball. This is my conundrum. I'm 0-2 in my home league, and I drafted phenomenally. It's just been tough. It's been tough. And I'm like, don't panic. But like, there's only so much wiggle room you have before you have to fucking panic, because you got to make the fucking playoffs, right? The playoffs come sooner than you think. So you need to win. You need to win now.
You don't want to go 0-3, obviously.
For sure.
It's the nail's definitely not in your fantasy coffin either, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's shitty to be 0-3, but you could easily just be like, all right, fine, make another move, and then get to like 3-3. I mean, this is not out of the realm of possibility, but I feel you, man. It hurts. Back to all right. So yeah, you want to talk about Chase? Yes, I have Chase. It's completely predicated on the quarterback right now. So
yep.
I'm with you there. Waddle, unfortunately, is in protocol.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to clear. That's my feeling.
Fuck.
In terms of Najee, man, we spoke about Najee and the offensive line and the offensive coordinator upstairs. They have to come up with a plan, and they better come up with one really quickly. Or
I also have Jalen Hurts and Sam Laporta. Those are the two pieces I didn't mention.
I like Laporta, and Jalen Hurts is a freaking stud.
Yeah, he's him.
He's a stud.
All right, Ron says this might be a Van Jefferson get-right game. Nakua is going to be on a little bit of play count. McVay is worried about the amount of touches. Kobe Durant, the DB, is banged up. Rams 28-21. I would say Puka was supposed to be on a rep count this past week, and you know what? He just got another fucking 29, 30.
So like
1,300 freaking receptions. So
yeah,
I'm not counting out Puka. I think Puka is a good play. I like Tutu. I like Chase. I like Higgins. I like Kyron. I like Mixon. They're all good. I just don't like the tight ends.
Like Van Jefferson isn't to Puka as was, like, let's say, if this analogy works, as was Robert Woods to Cooper Kupp. If anything, if Cooper Kupp could make it back onto the field healthy and maybe himself, it would be then the Puka will be the Robert Woods to now the Cooper Kupp. Does that make sense? Like I don't see it being Van Jefferson to now all of a sudden become like a number 2. Like
and Jeremy Thiel's hit it on the head,
but
right?
then, but then again, look, I was wrong with the Rams for months now. So shit.
So let's talk schematically, okay? Van Jefferson, he is a burner. He's a DJ Chark. He's a big play threat, right?
Yeah.
But he also looks like he's lost a step. He looks like he's slower. What's the point of being in an offensive line that's kind of like, not there? That's why they're doing the quick dink and dunk passes. That's why they're hitting the quick throws and getting open in the unders, because they can't hit the deep ball. So Van Jefferson's either lost a step or the O-line is not buying enough time
or worse
for Stafford to benefit Van Jefferson the way he should.
Worse.
And the Cincinnati rush defense is pretty decent. Like, they're not bad, right? So go ahead.
No, worse, really, right? I mean, it's just like they're not dialing it up for him. They've washed their head, not washed their hands, but they don't. There's something wrong there.
He just doesn't fit what they're trying to do right now.
Yeah, like it's just like we're not calling your number. Like there's a whole sequence.
Yeah.
When it comes to calling the play, and if you don't hear like you're part of the sequence, you should not. You don't expect the damn ball.
Here's another thing that upsets me with Van Jefferson. I was really high on him in best ball this offseason, like very high on him, because he was practically free. I'm like, Cooper Kupp's out. This is the guy,
right? No one thought of Nakua or Atwell. That's why everybody was all.
I thought of Nakua. I said that's a cool name. That's a really cool name. I like the name Puka Nakua. Right? It's cool. And I got a couple of shares of Puka, and I wish I got more. I wish I got 0 Van Jefferson at this point. So yeah. I think that's our show. We wrapped it up. We got it all. We didn't just get the Sunday day slate. We got the Sunday night game. We got the 2 Monday night games, and we did it within 2 hours. I'm proud of us.
Fantastic.
We did great. That was a fun show. That was a great show. We had a big turnout.
You're a superstar.
You're a superstar. Where can the beautiful folks who are tuning in find us on Saturday, September 23rd?
Do you have a calendar? You must have a calendar in front of you, because it is the 23rd. I got a calendar in front of me. Yeah, the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show will be on tomorrow. I believe it's 7:15. It's the Start Sit with LeVar J. Featuring yourself, featuring Best Ball Jonesy. Of course, Don P. Patrick will be there. I'll be there.
That's Eastern time, right?
It's Eastern time.
All right, and at Segal 13 is where you can find my boy JC. I appreciate you as always. It's always a slice chopping it up and chatting football with you.
Always a great time. Appreciate you guys appreciate everybody for coming out, obviously.
Exactly. To our wonderful followers, God bless you guys. These shows are so fucking fun. The first one was slow. This one was absolutely spectacular. It only keeps getting better and better. If you guys got questions, don't hesitate. Send it our way. Love this. JC, thank you. Patrick, shout out to you. Thank you. Jonesy couldn't join us tonight because he was under the weather, but hopefully we'll get him back next week. Until next time, folks, tomorrow night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time on the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Football Show, hosted by the greatest voice in fantasy football, Mr. JC. Peace, guys. Bye.
Thank you.